The prisoner suddenly had a bold idea halfway through his meal. Seeing that the guards were not paying attention, he secretly wrapped a rope around his finger, then lied that he needed to go to the bathroom. The guards agreed, but made an excessive demand. He had to keep shaking a branch to ensure they could see, or they would shoot him. He was not the least bit flustered, instead finding a relatively hidden spot. Just in case, the guards continued firing warning shots, so he had to shout that he was still there while going to the bathroom. Out of sight, he quietly tied the rope to a tree. From a distance, the branch still shook, but the man's voice was gone. The guard finally sensed something was wrong and hurriedly fired a shot, but missed. Seeing this, the man immediately ran over, but when he arrived, all that was left on the ground was a long rope. By now, the man had reached a nearby house. He knew the guards would catch up soon, so he had to find a way to buy time. He tricked 2 children into bringing him an axe, cut off part of his foot, and then wrapped the extra portion with cloth. But how to avoid the tracking dogs? That, of course, was no challenge for a former soldier. He had the kids sprinkle some pepper along the roadside, covering his scent so he would have enough time to get away. Sure enough, when the guards and dogs arrived, the dogs sneezed uncontrollably from the pepper, unable to track him. Seeing the iron chains left on the stake, the guards knew the man had escaped. But the next day, he was captured again. Everyone was in disbelief. This time, he had been caught even faster. This was not his first escape attempt. To prevent him from fleeing again, the guards added an extra shackle to his leg. Even so, the man did not give up the idea of escaping. That night, while everyone was having a dance, he lifted the floorboards from below. His companions deliberately made noise to cover him, keeping the guards from noticing. With everyone's help, he quickly sawed through the boards just in time for bedtime. When the warden came to check, one prisoner pretended to have something to report and lured him to his bed, creating an opportunity for the man. Seeing that the warden's attention had been successfully distracted by Mark, he quickly crawled under the bed, with another prisoner following closely. Soon, the guards heard noises outside and rushed out. The companion hadn't even gotten over the barbed wire before being caught by the patrolling guard. But it was all intentional, meant to distract the guards and buy the man more time to escape. Soon, the guards released the tracking dogs. By now, he had reached a small river. He ran non-stop until sunrise. To prevent the dogs from tracking him, he deliberately jumped back and forth near the wire fence to confuse his trail. Sure enough, when the dogs arrived, they were completely baffled. The man's scent was everywhere with no pattern. They could only scramble back and forth, and the guards had no idea what was happening. To avoid leaving his scent, the man climbed on steel wires or deliberately rolled in pig pens to mask himself with the pig's smell. He did not believe the guards could catch him this time. Before long, the capturing guards returned by car, their dogs exhausted to death.
Look, Captain. Look what you done to Blue.
The handlers cried, holding the dogs, shocked that even the dogs could not match him. A week quickly passed. One day, Mark received a magazine. Opening it, he found it had been sent by the man. Seeing this, the companions were overjoyed. He had really succeeded. But the next night, he was captured again, lying on the ground, barely alive, clearly having suffered a great deal. After the guards left, everyone quickly helped him onto a bed. The reason he repeatedly attempted escape was that his mother had recently died. By regulations, he could have been allowed to pay his respects, but the guards, fearing escape, denied his leave. Not only was he refused, but he was locked in solitary until after the funeral, only then being released. The man only wanted to see his mother's grave, but the warden forbade it, which is why he thought of escaping. He was originally a decorated soldier, but had been imprisoned for damaging public property. At first, no one liked him because he liked bragging. It wasn't until this day that they truly understood the man. That day, the prison held a boxing match. Mark, being a former boxer, went on stage first, and no one dared challenge him, except the man. But the frail man was no match. He hit Mark once, and it barely affected him, while every punch from Mark sent the man to the ground. It was a completely one-sided match. They weren't even in the same league. Yet no matter how many times he fell, he would get back up. After a while, the watching prisoners could no longer bear it and urged him to give up. But the man refused to surrender, saying he would only fall if he were killed. Many could not watch anymore and turned back to their cells. It was too cruel. Even Mark couldn't continue and advised him to give up. But the man, using his remaining strength, kept attacking. With no choice, Mark knocked him down with a punch and silently left, leaving the man swinging his fists in the ring. From that point on, no one dared underestimate him, and he gradually became part of the group. The longer they were around him, the more his companions were captivated by his unique charisma. No matter how harsh the environment, he always faced it with a smile. Others would avoid snakes, but he grabbed them barehanded. One day, the guards ordered them to pave an entire road in a single day or face punishment. Everyone thought it impossible. It was clearly meant to be punishing, but the man worked with full energy. The harder they tried to make make it impossible, the more determined he was to complete it. Gradually, his companions were inspired by his indomitable spirit and started working harder. Like they were on adrenaline, they shoveled sand and dirt frantic, leaving even the guards stunned. In the end, they finished 2 hours early, leaving the guards with no reason to punish them. But fate intervened the next day. The man received news of his mother's death. He wanted to request leave to go see her, but was outright refused, prompting thoughts of escape. To prevent another escape, the guards began tormenting him. As soon as he stopped working, he would be beaten. At night, he was locked in solitary to break his spirit, leaving him too exhausted to plan another escape. After working all day, he was immediately summoned again. He was ordered to dig a pit and could not eat until it was finished. Having just completed the pit, another guard angrily approached, asking what he was doing and why it looked like this, then demanded he fill it back in. After filling it, the first guard returned, demanding to know where the pit he ordered was and why it had been filled. The man could no longer bear it and charged at the guards. He knew they were clearly toying with him, but the result was only a brutal beating. His companions encouraged him with songs, but he could only pick up the shovel again and face the cruel reality. Only late at night did he finally dig the pit again.
What's all this dirt doing?
Facing endless torment, the man finally yielded, promising to obey and stop thinking about escaping.
Suppose you just backslide on us.
Oh, no, I won't, boss.
Suppose you just a backsass.
Seeing this, his companions were deeply disappointed. They hadn't expected him to surrender so quickly. Back in the cell, no one spoke to him. Not even if he fell did anyone help him. The man looked at them in disbelief. Friends once, now strangers. At mealtime, everyone grabbed his portion, leaving him hungry. From that point on, he changed, serving tea and water to the guards like an obedient servant. His companions couldn't believe it. He even began flattering the guards. The foreman ordered him to take a turtle to a truck to bring home for dinner. But the next second, the man started the engine and drove off. It turned out all this was his plan, pretending to submit to deceive the guards while finding a way to escape. From start to finish, he never truly changed. He was still the indomitable Luke. Mark knew he was pretending and followed him. When the guards tried to chase in their cars, they found all the keys had been removed. They arrived at a small river, hid the vehicle with branches, and then he prepared to cut his foot. Mark praised the man, amazed at how he had fooled all the guards. That night, they found a small path leading to a town, hard for guards to detect. But the man said he no longer wished to escape. They should part ways. He only hoped Mark could get away and send him a magazine later. Then he turned and left. The man went straight to a church to reflect on his life. With his mother's farewell complete, he no longer had any attachments. Mark arrived, advising him to stop resisting. He had been captured as soon as he left.
And they was aiming to kill you. But I fixed it. I got them to promise if you give up peaceful.
Returning, he could face his companions as before. He smiled faintly and went straight to the window.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
The man chose this way to end everything. His escapes had never been about running away. They were a form of rebellion, a stand against the world's unfairness. He would rather die than be locked up again, and until his last moment, he wore a smile. From then on, the prison began to spread tales of him, a man who had created countless miracles, yet whose smile was gone from the world.